What's up, everybody? I'm Blessed and Free. Welcome back to another episode of DOC TV. So I'm sure you recognize the guest I have on today. He's been on this channel before. He's got a lot of scams. He's done a lot of years in federal prison. He's got a lot of good stories. So he's on the channel again. If you're new and you're tuning in, man, hit that subscribe button and turn your post notifications on so every time I drop an episode, you can hear it first. So, man, we were kind of talking about all the scams and how you grew up. So we never got to your biggest scam, though. So what was the biggest scam, man, that got you indicted by the feds?
Basically, the big scam that kind of got me indicted was called, like, Wasn't Me scam, where basically...
Hold on. So the scam name was It Wasn't Me?
That's the name of the scam.
Was that like a fuck you to the cops?
No, it should have been, yeah. But no, it wasn't.
I'm sure they took it that way.
Yeah, they kind of did. The way it works real quick is, like, I realized, like, reading on the law, the FDIC, the insurance company, pays the banks back for any money that's stolen. That happened because I went to court one time and I had stolen like 60 grand from this person. And, like, my lawyer told me that luckily the bank paid them back. The government paid back the bank all that money.
So the money's insured, basically.
Right. So what it meant, when I was in prison, I was thinking up a scam. What I told myself is that I got to figure out a way where I can steal money, right, and not get the police called on me for it. So the only way, my mind says the only way to ever do that. So you
had a dream that every other fucking guy has.
Yes.
Except you actually, like, fucking lived it out.
Right. Well, I told myself, how can I steal money and not have the police called on me? And I said, the only way I know to do that is if I actually steal the money from myself. So that's what I'll do. So if I open up an account and you open up an account and I put money in my account and make it look like you stole my money, right? I can say, hey, somebody stole my money, and the bank will give me my money back, right? But we'll also have the money that you took. So all I have to do is tell the bank, hey, that wasn't me that took that money out of the account. And then they'll put the money back.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Princeton's Criminal School live on DOC. Like, bro, this isn't some other level shit.
Yes.
I'm used to, like, interviewing people that rob, like, dope boys.
And that's a good living also. Because they can't call the police.
That's debatable. That's definitely debatable.
So, so that's what I began doing. So I started doing that on the scale of just people's accounts. And then I moved up to corporation and business accounts to where I could actually steal from myself 60, 70 grand and report it as stolen, and then the bank would give the money back. So that's what I was doing. But I was very, very strategic and organized with it to where I had teams of people going out opening accounts, and I had teams of people stealing money out of an account, and the teams that was going out opening it was reporting the money stolen. So all this was going on. So what happened to me is somebody told on me, because I felt that this was a absolute foolproof scheme. I had been able to make about over $1 million doing it. Like I said, I bought 3 houses. We had like 6 vehicles, and I bought a Domino's franchise. As a matter of fact, what's so funny is when my wife got pregnant, my wife at the time got pregnant with the daughter I have now, and we told ourselves that we're going to put together $5 million in stock. So we've got our franchise, and I'm like...
At least you were planning, man.
Yes.
I mean, I got to give it to you for that, because most people doing these type of crimes, and any crimes, aren't, they're not 401k planning it out. You know what I mean?
And that's my retirement plan. Get $5 million, have my business, and retire. Just kick back
business
and live
pays
a life.
for all the bills each month.
Right.
Yeah.
So I tried to put together a master scheme, and I made the mistake of
having co-defendants.
I got with a woman. I don't want to give her name, but I got with a...
You know who you are.
Yeah. I got with a side piece who happened to be on crack real bad, on drugs real bad.
Damn.
And she got arrested for something else, but she told the police on me. And it's a kind of a drawn out long.
What did she get arrested for?
Initially she got arrested for possession of cocaine.
So like a third-degree felony. And
third-degree felony.
And she gave up your whole...
She gave up my whole operation because she didn't want to be tied.
Loyal.
Yeah. So she explained to them exactly what I was doing. She so happened to go with my wife and I to do one of the jobs because I got caught in Tampa. So we weren't even living in Tampa. We were living in Colorado. But we had a house in Tampa. So she went with us on a job where I trained her in Tampa, where we opened up the account and did what we did. So when she told the feds on us, she was able to give them the name and information of what my wife and I did in Tampa, which is why the feds opened up a case for me in Tampa. So
damn, she sold the whole fucking...
She sold the whole... She explained because they didn't know. And because they didn't know what was going on, she had to sit down and explain it to them. And unfortunately for me, my wife had our daughter, and they threatened to take her away. So then my wife kind of coincided...
Forced to cooperate?
Yes. And so...
You're not married today?
No.
Is that because of that?
No, because she only got 5 years. I got...
she got 5?
Yeah, she got 72 months where she only did 5, and I got 198 months where I did 13.
All right, so for the biggest scam that you did, you got 190 months.
Yes.
So when you took that sentence, man, because we heard about it in the first episode, you're just like, you sounded like you would have just been like a career regular type of fellow, had a family, but you happen to fall into the life of crime, and now you got 190 months. So for the people that have never been to prison, that are thinking in their head, like, what would be going on in my head if I had 190 months? What was going on in your head, man?
Well, that I wasn't going to do it. There's no way I'm going to do 198 months. There's no way I'm going to serve this sentence out to its fruition. It's just not going to happen.
So hold on. So you're offing yourself?
Well, I wasn't thinking of offing myself. I'm like, I gotta escape something. I've got to, because I figured out a way to make all the money I dreamed of. I figured out, I know I can figure out a way to
escape this piece of shit prison system.
Yes, to get off of this sentence. So that was my mindset. There's no way, something's gonna change, something's gonna happen. I'm not gonna do my whole sentence. But
you've already done 8 months in county jail up until this point, right? And then the time, I'm assuming you sat in an MCC holding.
Well, there's no holding for the BOP. You go straight from the county jail to your assigned prison. So
the county jail has a contract with the government where they house you, right?
Right, and then they send you to your assigned prison. So I ended up going to. So I did 8 months prior. I ended up pleading guilty to the crime because I didn't want my wife to get that much time, and she didn't. She got 5 years, and so I got my 198, and then they sent me to prison to Coleman, which was close to my family, where my family and daughter visited me. So I'm at 198 months sitting at Coleman.
So when you went to Coleman, man, you've already done county jail time. You've been, waiting to go to federal prison.
Right. Never been to prison.
Now you're in federal prison. What was your first week like?
All right, so what stands out to me always is when we got there and they go through the intake process, and I'm processing everything that's going on in my life, like my sentence, the fact that I'm here in federal prison and everything. So my first night I go to a cell by myself. They sent me to an empty cell. They're like, this is your room. I go to an empty cell, and I crashed out in the bed. And so I'm laying there thinking to myself, oh my God, I'm in prison. I'm in a cell with a metal toilet. This is now my home. I don't know anybody except for the couple of people I might have talked to on the bus that are nice, that'll listen to me, and this is where I'm going to spend 198 months. And so I got a
reality.
Child. Yes.
Smacked you right in the face.
Smacked me in the face. It was scary. So I kind of teared up, and just like realize that the errors of my ways or of my thinking, the corruption of it, all that happened. I think at that point I kind of became bitter because I felt like, okay, what I did deserved time, but what I did didn't deserve that much time. Like I felt like they had piled on way too much time because I kind of ticked the agent off, and he like did lies and maneuvers just to get me extra time.
Well, explain to the people watching, some people go to do crime and they get sentenced and they say that. But how much did you get charged with when it was all said and done? What did the Fed say you stole?
$130,000.
What did you get sentenced to?
198 months, which is 16 and a half years for $100,000 worth of loss.
So if you're watching right now, go ahead and just pause this, go in the comments. Do you think that let's just say $20,000 is worth how many years?
16 and a half.
16 years. Just comment below. I don't think it is personally. Man, there's fucking rapists that are getting less than that. So.
And not understanding. So like going, and I said I kind of got bitter at that point. But just to talk about the prison, like I didn't understand anything. So the first day when it's opened up, I don't know where to go. I don't know where to get my clothes. I don't know how any of the routine goes. So there's no real like explanation. You kind of like go with the flow. So they call chow, so everybody's leaving. So I know chow means food. So I guess I just follow everybody out. So I'm just kind of walking blindly, just trying to understand my surroundings.
Nobody grabbed you, man, and was like, yo, check it out real quick.
No.
So was everybody like standoffish or?
There was a couple of people who I was in the county jail with that we kind of lingered together, that I came there with, that we kind of grouped up together to work it out. But Coleman Medium is kind of soft and laid back. It's not one of those hardcore prisons. So it allowed me to kind of be on my own. They didn't have any cars. A car is where people operate together, like different gangs or people from different sections work together and kind of squash any problems because they have a representative that talks for them and put things together. They didn't have any of that, so you were kind of on man time. So you dealt with a lot of issues yourself.
Which was probably good for you, man,
yes.
Because it kind of gave you a cushion for your landing into the federal prison system.
Correct.
Do they do that for that reason, or did you just get lucky?
I think I got lucky and ended up going to Coleman. I think that was luck because there were homosexuals there. There were people trying to figure out if there's somebody there they can get at. But it is what it is. But generally it was kind of their method of getting at somebody was persuasion. It was never anything out of force. Now I ended up going to a penitentiary from Coleman, but which was a little bit different. But really,
what
Coleman was laid back.
Where did you land at?
USP Beaumont in Texas. Bloody Beaumont. And what happened was, so I got a reputation at Coleman because I'm kind of a friendly guy, I guess. So I started I was a tutor there, helping people get their GED. And of course, I met Matt Cox there, and him and I used to hang out and talk. Matt Cox was in for fraud also. So
he's been on the channel before.
Yes, and him and I would just sit down and talk about fraud. And because of, I guess, our way of talking, or because...
God, that's a recipe for disaster.
Well, and people started telling the officers that we were scheming. So it wasn't like we just like...
Y'all were scheming, don't lie.
Right.
Y'all were scheming.
No, we really weren't. We were talking. It's just like if two dope dealers...
Is that what the con man says?
That's what the con man... If two dope dealers get together, like, who are you getting your shit from? I was getting it from such and such. Oh, he had a good deal. I dealt with him one time. It's not necessarily that you're scheming to buy more dope. You're just kind of shooting the shit. Like,
I'm
who are your
scheming
customers?
to figure out if his shit, he's getting it for the low. I'm finna go grab that.
Exactly. So we might be exchanging stories
We
and
are
think
not
about what
the
we're going to
same.
do. Yeah, think about what we're going to do. So, my mentality was way different when I was in prison than when I was in that county jail plotting out what I was going to do to make money.
For me, man, like how I am out on the street is not how I am when I'm in prison.
Right.
Like there's a different set of rules change, the guidelines change.
Yes.
How in prison a fucking ramen noodle soup can get a bitch his whole shit smashed in.
Yes.
So
bloodied up.
how was your mentality, and how were you in prison? Like, I heard you say you were friendly, but even that, like, that causes problems.
Yes, it does. And you're right. So what I learned is, well, first it was my mindset to fight my case because I felt like I got screwed somehow.
Right.
So I wanted to fight my case. As I was fighting my case, I started learning the law and I started helping other people. I'm always, like, as I explained in your last episode, you know, I'm always scheming somehow. Even if it's not a scheme for money, it's always a scheme for a come up. And I realized in prison, my come up and scheme would be the fact that I could talk about law and get people off my case. So you might accuse me of the way I talk of being gay, but if I'm the lawman, then you want to sit and talk to me. You're not going to be so, hey, I'm going to rob from this guy. You'd be like, no. Somebody will go, no, that guy's helping me with my case. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you backdoored.
Yes. I took my talents and made myself invaluable.
You made yourself an asset.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is smart. That's like some 48 laws of power type shit, bro.
That's right. Just to prevent me from being subject to the things that somebody like me would normally be subject to if I just kept to myself and walked around. You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of people watching don't understand that that's the level that you adapt to when you go to prison.
Yes.
Like, somebody that's never been to prison probably doesn't understand what you're saying, or they do, and they're just like, you know, they may not grasp it. But there's other things that people adapt to in prison, and you know, they're crazy shit. Like, this is what goes on, and this is why, you know, I have the channels, because I want people to realize that. Because a lot of people think, like, I'm a man, ain't nobody gonna fucking try me. When I go to prison, I'm gonna stand on my own. I thought that. And, you know, but some people, when they get in there, they don't think like you.
Right.
So they don't adapt the way you did.
Right.
And the next thing you know,
they got problems.
Yeah.
Or they think to themselves, hey, I'm just going to be off on my own and nobody's going to mess with me. That's absolutely not true. You're going to be in the room with somebody, that person will be dealing with somebody else, or somebody's going to see you, or somebody's going to do something to you and you let it slide, and somebody sees that, go, oh, I can do that to him too.
That's just sweet.
Yeah. So you have to. And in my mind, I needed to create allies, and I felt like if I did legal work for people.
Why were they on you though about the gay shit? Like, I heard you say that before too.
Right, but because of the way I talk, like, I kind of have a proper way of talking. I don't talk, you know, ghetto and gang.
Especially because you're from Florida too,
and I'm from Florida.
Even more shocking.
Yes,
because I even have, like, you know, back when I was in my thug days,
right?
I still find myself doing that. You know what I'm saying? So that is. I see their point on that,
right?
But, like, why were they on you, like, about the, like, just because of that they thought you were gay? Because you weren't like a convict,
right? I wasn't like, I guess I wasn't a dope boy, or I'm like a banker. You know, a lot of times they told me that I don't look like I should be in prison. You know, which was a compliment.
I've got that, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
They told you that? Yeah. So
especially before I, like, went my second time, got tats and shit. Like, yeah, I always used to get that. You're lying, bro. That's what they said.
So I guess, and there's predators. You know, people have done life sentences. People 20, 30 years without sex. You know what I'm saying? I guess it makes them instant predators to have any type of physical contact. I don't know why America insists on punishing people by depriving them of that basic, you know what I'm saying, of a wife or a child. You know, you punish the family along with the person. It's bad, but there are people who go 20, 30 years or the rest of their life without sex.